Story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Warner Anderson as Matthew Swain, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, and Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie.
Beneath the quiet surface of Peyton Place, there are many secrets. Betty Harrington has finally revealed hers to her husband, Rodney, but Constance Mackenzie still lives with hers. Dr. Michael Rossi has guessed it, but today he faces a dilemma of his own.
Connie, don't you have any more views of Whalers Rock?
Not anything on the rack, Emily. I must be out.
Hello, Dr. Rossi.
Good morning, Miss Maitland.
Hello, Mike.
Hi. Just came by to see you for a minute. How are you?
I'm all right, but I hear Dr. Morton's called a hearing.
News travels fast here.
Matthew Swain's on the hospital board, and he knew I'd be concerned.
Don't worry about it. Things like this happen.
Do they? What's it all about?
Well, the formal charge is I failed to obtain adequate preoperative support.
Is it serious?
No, I don't think so, not in this case. If I would have gotten another opinion, it would just agreed with my diagnosis.
Was there an autopsy?
Mm-hmm. It was hell without me.
That doesn't seem fair.
I know that my diagnosis was correct.
My God, so do I.
I guess these will have to do, Connie. I've got 5.
Oh, that'll be 35 cents.
I don't know. You used to have a much bigger selection of postcards.
There's been a run on him, Mrs. Maitland. A mad collector has gone wild in Peyton Place.
What?
A mad collector has suddenly gone...
Here you are, Emily.
Thanks, Connie. Goodbye, Dr. Rossi.
Goodbye, Mrs. Maitland.
A mad collector.
I guess I could bring them all back to you. They're all stacked up there on my desk.
Dr. Rossi, you deceived me. When you bought those, you told me it was strictly business.
You deceived me. I thought you knew better.
Mike. Mike, aren't you worried?
Not really.
Isn't there a possibility of a mistake?
Well, mistakes have been made before.
And if one was made?
Well, I couldn't be much of a doctor where I didn't have hospital privileges. I'm sure Dr. Morton would see to it I don't have any here.
And you wouldn't stay any place that you couldn't be much of a doctor, huh?
No, I wouldn't. But now listen, I haven't made any plans to move out of Peyton Place. Everything will work out all right, you'll see.
Dr. Rossi's office. Well, hello, Mildred. How are you? I'm fine. Oh, I see. No. No, whatever you think is best. Yes, we'll have lunch. Goodbye. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'll be with you in just a minute.
Cindy boy was in for his test. I'll send him to the lab.
Oh, fine. Would you get that, please? I'm going to have to rearrange some of my appointments. Tomorrow there's going to be a hearing in your sister-in-law's case.
Called it, Dr. Morton.
Yes, sir. You don't seem very surprised.
I tried to warn you, Mike. He's a powerful man in town.
I had to operate. You were there. You saw the symptoms.
Could have been more politic.
All right, you tell me. What am I practicing here, medicine or etiquette?
Mike, I only want to help.
Sorry,
could talk to my brother.
No, don't. I want the hearing. I want all the facts out in the open. My diagnosis was correct. The autopsy will prove that. So we better start to work.
Mike, that was Mildred Endicott on the phone. She canceled her appointment.
Well, she's making good progress. I'll see her later in the week.
She didn't want another appointment. She sounded very guilty and very determined. She was a good friend of Catherine.
Well, that's a classic reaction when somebody dies. You know that.
That's a New York answer, Mike. This is Peyton Place.
Sit down, Bob. Sit down.
Grace and I thought you might like to drive up to the cottage with us for the weekend.
Well, that's very thoughtful of you, Bob, but my work's been piling up. I guess that's the best cure for me.
Perhaps.
I still can't believe that Catherine's gone. I come home at night and still expect to find her there. It's going to take me a long, long time to get over this.
Yes. How are the boys doing?
Rod's a grown man. He doesn't let his feelings get the best of him, but I'm worried about Norman. He got into some trouble last night.
Nothing serious.
Could have been, but I took care of it.
Poor Norman. I knew how deeply he'd feel Katie's loss. I sometimes think he loved her more than any of us did.
You said you had some hospital business.
Yes, I'm calling Dr. Rossi to a hearing tomorrow morning. As chairman of the hospital board, I think you should be there.
A hearing?
Dr. Rossi committed a serious error in taking Katie into surgery. If I could have stopped the operation, she'd still be alive today. The board might very well think it advisable to revoke Dr. Rossi's hospital privileges.
Doesn't that make it impossible for him to practice here?
I don't think that should be any great loss. He doesn't really belong in Peyton Place.
There was a time when I didn't really belong in Peyton Place.
Leslie, the woman's your wife.
Exactly. That's why I don't want to appear to be acting vindictively toward Dr. Rossi.
Vindictively?
After all, he came here with a reputation as a competent doctor. More than competent.
Are you suggesting that his diagnosis may have been correct, but mine wasn't?
I'm not suggesting anything. I'm no authority.
Well, then, really, Leslie, if I didn't have sound medical reasons for believing him in error, do you think I should have called this hearing?
No, I suppose not. After all, you've always been a very judicious administrator.
I appreciate your confidence. I've seen these young, brilliant Dr. Rossis. I've seen them come and go. All their brilliance doesn't make up for good, sound experience. Well, I've called the hearing for 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, if that's convenient for you.
That's convenient. Rod? Good evening, son.
Good evening, Dad.
Where's Betty? She coming down to dinner?
I don't know.
Where is she?
I don't know. Christine says she's been out all day.
What's the trouble, son?
Is Norm here?
He's at the library.
He's gone there again.
Yes.
You know, that Norm...
Rod, Christine told me something else. She told me you moved back into your own room. When did that happen?
After the funeral?
Why didn't you tell me?
Well, you had enough on your mind.
What's the trouble, son?
Oh,
What is it, Rod?
could we have dinner, please?
I'm trying to help you.
This is between Betty and me.
In my house?
I know, Dad, we're in your house.
Our house, son.
Our house.
What is the trouble, Rod?
Dad, do you have any idea where Betty went?
No.
Or why?
Well, I did have a talk with her.
Oh? What did you say?
Frankly.
Yes, Dad, frankly.
I asked her to change doctors.
Why?
Well, considering all the circumstances, I can't have too much confidence in Rossi. Besides, he's not an obstetrician.
Don't you think I should have been the one to talk to her? I mean, after all, I'm supposed to be her husband.
Supposed to be?
Yes.
Rod. Is there going to be a baby?
No.
She tricked us.
Us?
Your mother suspected this all along. The night she died, she didn't want Rossi to touch her. She was so sure. All right, it's simple enough. She tricked us. We'll get you a divorce.
Not quite that simple.
You're not going to tell me you're still in love with her.
Dad, don't you see?
Oh, hello, Rod.
Good evening, Betty.
Mr. Harrington, Rod, could you give me a hand with these, please? Thank you.
Looks like you've been shopping, Betty.
Yes, I have. I didn't want you to have to be ashamed of me anymore.
Betty, I told Dad the truth.
I'm glad you did. I'm sorry I had to lie to Rod, but I did have to.
I'm sure things can be worked out, Betty.
Dad,
Worked out?
Yes, of course.
stop it, both of you, please.
You mean a divorce, Mr. Harrington? There isn't going to be any divorce or an annulment. There aren't any grounds.
You seem awfully sure of yourself, Betty.
I went to see a lawyer today. Oh, don't worry. I was discreet. I went to Boston.
So you've already run to a lawyer.
I didn't run, Mr. Harrington. I just went. For a lot of reasons.
I'm going to have a talk with that girl.
Dad.
Look, I'll handle her.
Just stop right there.
We have to settle this, Rod.
She is not a girl to be handled. She is my wife.
Don't worry, I can get you a divorce.
I know. Oh, I know what you can do. Why did you have to get involved? Why did you have to try and buy her off? It wasn't that kind of thing. It never was.
She told you.
Of course she told me. How do you think she felt?
I was trying to help you, Rod.
I know. You loved me. Betty loved me. That's why she lied about the baby. Oh, you people don't love. You clutch.
Oh, wait, Rod. You can't blame me for this mess.
I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just so sick and tired of the schemes and the strategies. The Harringtons versus the Andersons.
That girl's not going to go on living in this house.
I'll be the one to decide that.